Sit back and enjoy my sit down with Quincy Hamilton of the Sugar Land Space Cowboys, Astros outfield prospect. Hope you enjoy.
Alvarez hits a high drive center field. Beer leans back. This game is turned upside down. There's the runner. Fly ball down the right field line. Tucker comes on. Kyle Tucker. This time they finish the job.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Heisman and Brett Htown Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we are your daily Astros podcast. I'm Htown Wheelhouse. You can find me at Htown Wheelhouse on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find the show at Locked On Astros on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever you get your podcast. Remember, we're your team every day. And become an everydayer by subscribing to our YouTube channel, tuning in, and sharing our podcast with others. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Before we get into the interview and I share with you my sit down with Quincy Hamilton, I think you'll really enjoy his answers. This young man comes to us and he's swinging a hot bat here in 2023. And even since the last couple weeks we've talked, he is still hitting the cover off the ball at 12 home runs, 45 RBI. He has 5 stolen bases, 260 average, 352 on base percentage, 463 slugging, 815 OPS. You love to see it. And you also like to see that he has 112 total bases to 63 hits. When the total bases double the hits, that is a good sign for the hitter. This kid out of Wright State was a draft pick, the 5th round overall. He was the 148th pick. And he comes to us from Centerville, Ohio. So I sit down with him and I talk to him about what has been going on, how he's doing, his success, his failures, what it was like playing at Wright State, what he's like, what adversity he's been through to get him to this point. But over his major league career, he has 804 at-bats, 218 hits, 31 home runs, 133 RBI, 41 total stolen bases, a 271 average, 379 on base percentage career, and 826 OPS. So I really like this kid. A great makeup. You'll love hearing his story. So I'm excited for you to watch this. So thank y'all for tuning in. Enjoy the interview. Hey guys, Htown Wheelhouse here with Locked On Astros, and I'm here with Astros Centerville prospect Quincy Hamilton. Quincy Hamilton, thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you were drafted back in 2021, I believe,
Yep.
By the Houston Astros, 5th rounder, out of Wright State. Wright State has a pretty good pedigree of sending players from college making it to the next level. Before I get to your Wright State experience, take us back to the day you were drafted, what that was like in the 5th round, and how you made that feel, family around, things like that. Take us back to that time.
Actually, I was at my mom's house and I was chilling there. I think she was like at the grocery store or something, but I was there by myself, and I pretty much just kept getting a lot of calls and like texts from my agent kind of thing, which offers to take and which offers to decline and stuff like that. And then I thought I was gonna get drafted like a little bit later, maybe even like 3rd day, but then got some calls like earlier than I expected. So then it was really cool. Like once they called me and confirmed it, and then I think someone got I thought I was gonna be 1 pick, and then they got someone else, and that was the next pick. I guess I had like 2 that round maybe or something like that, but it was still like really cool. Once I heard my name drafted, I was like, wow, this is great, this is real. So it was a dream come true for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And with the Astros, especially in the run that they've been in, even now when they're struggling, people are like, well, yeah, but they're going to make it to the playoffs. I mean, this ball club, from what we've seen from all the players that we've interviewed, we've interviewed 20 plus professionals in this organization, and they all say the same thing, like the way they prepare y'all is really second to none. What was it about the program at Wright State that you feel like prepared you for that next level? Because that's key. Students can go all over America to thousands of different schools, and if you don't, sometimes you can go to a school that doesn't really develop you or doesn't play you or doesn't harness your talents, and maybe guys are missed because of that. But what did Wright State do with you that you felt helped you get into the draft and get recognized?
I feel like so I redshirted my first year. We had 3 outfielders that are pretty good. And, you know, my head coach and assistant coach were pretty much just like preaching, like, work while you wait, never know when your shot's going to be, that kind of thing. So I feel like even though I wasn't really playing that much at first, I still, you know, was always kind of just like grinding all the time, trying to get better, trying to find things, you know, that would help me like long term. Always kind of like looking at other people's at bats, try to take like mental reps through them kind of thing. But really just like dealing with adversity. It wasn't really like always like good times there. There was always, you know, there's some tough times there, but it kind of just like helped me learn about myself, like how deep I can dig and like, you know, get that extra ounce of, you know, motivation out of me that kind of just helped me, you know, throughout my years there.
Yeah, so that kind of brings me to a question about the people that look at prospects. There's a guy named Matt Collier. He actually developed the Fabio stat, and that's used by all major colleges, even used by pros. This guy's ultra analytical, like probably understands baseball, probably understands more baseball metrically than I'll ever forget on standard stats, right? And he said coming out, he had high grades on you. You were considered what would be called, I guess, an undersized outfielder because you get used to the Jason Haywards, you get used to the Jordan Walkers, the big, tall, you know, burly outfielders, right? The George Springers. Coming in around 5'10", and being undersized, and you say going through those challenges, was it just literally you just having to stay focused on not like, okay, gosh, I'm competing against this guy or I'm playing against this guy, and that guy's definitely going to go to the show? And how did you stay within yourself and stay focused on that, not listening to the, I guess, the negative or, you know, the doubters?
Yeah, it's really easy to kind of just see things or hear things about yourself that, you know, you don't agree with. But the biggest thing for me is just, you know, staying within myself, knowing what I do well, what I can, you know, be really good at, and just not really coming out of that. Yeah, it is kind of weird because, like, you definitely get compared to, like, you know, bigger guys or guys with more power, that kind of thing. But it's just, like, you know, there's so many different types of players in baseball, too. Like, you kind of just got to know where your strengths are and your weaknesses are, and not really get too caught up into trying to be someone else.
Exactly. And, you know, the Astros even, I think we have the ultimate example of if anyone can be called truly undersized, Jose Altuve. You know, probably one of the greatest, you know, players to ever put on an Astros uniform. Have you had an opportunity to interact with any of the pros when they've been down on rehab assignments? Have you had a chance to like be around them? And if you have, what's that been like for you?
Yeah, so Chaz McCormick and Altuve were both down in Corpus this year when I was down there. They were rehabbing, and they kind of talked to us a little bit, and they're pretty much just saying, like, hey, like, you know, don't get, you know, too caught up in, like, how big the game is. Like, it's still the same game, getting up to the major league level. Like, obviously, like, it's better, but when you get too caught up into, you know, trying to do too much or, like, trying to have, you know, obviously everyone wants to have success, but it's just, like, you can't really try to do too much. It's the same game. Like, be confident, be yourself. That's kind of what they were preaching. And, you know, it took a while for me to, like, realize it, but, like, I think a lot of times I was, you know, trying to do too much, trying to control too much instead of just, you know, letting the game come to me. So I think I kind of did a better job of that this year, just being a little more confident, not trying to do too much and just doing what I know I can do.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Are you the person that people go to reach out to for all the problems? Like, are you the person that people want to console in or trust in or confide in? And those are all great things. But at times, you may be the person that needs to talk to somebody yourself. And I know for me, I've actually used BetterHelp services, and it's been absolutely phenomenal. I love talking to their licensed professional counselors. And look, sometimes in life, we're faced with tough choices, whether it's business, whether it's family relationships, and just moving forward and getting a clear path. You can move forward with confidence and excitement when you trust yourself to make the decisions that align with your values. And that's what they want to do at BetterHelp. They want to make a better you. And it's not just that they don't think that you can do it. They want you to believe that you can. And it's designed to be convenient and easy to use. It's suited to fit your schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire and you get matched to a licensed professional counselor. And if at any time you don't feel comfortable with that person and you want to switch, there's no fee to change. So right now, you go to betterhelp.com/lockedonmlb. You get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedonmlb to get 10% off your first month. Trust me, you need to let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. For better you, go to BetterHelp. The Astros play the Angels this Friday at 8:38 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Astros. Yeah, and I think that's truly a testament because and we're not going to break down all your stats here. We're not going to go into the encyclopedia, but I would encourage our listeners, I would encourage you to look up Quincy Hamilton on Baseball Reference and look at his progression through the minors. In 2021, you had success. I remember when you first got to Fayetteville, I think I had reached out to you on Twitter, and you had kind of just gotten there. And then I remember I noticed when you moved up, and I said, look, there will be a time and a place where we'll get to meet up, we'll get to do an interview. And what's great is you're here in Sugar Land, right in our backyard, and we weren't even talking that long ago. So 2021, you had success, but 2022, you went through 3 levels. I mean, for one player to have a meteoric rise like that, how do you keep from getting comfortable, right? Because you have success, boom, hey, you're getting bumped, kid. Hey, you're getting the call. Like, how do you stay grinding because everything maybe seems to be clicking because you're getting noticed?
Just not being content. Like, obviously you still want to do good, but at the same time, it's just like I kind of know, how hard it was when I was, struggling when I first got to college and how much of a grind that was. So I kind of always keep that in the back of my mind, that everything isn't sweet. You could be good one day, bad the next day. So it's really just like always a battle of just becoming the best player I can be. I kind of just have a vision of like how good I can be, and kind of just like always chasing that. And even if I never get there, it's almost just like there's always someone behind you. There's always someone in front of you to go catch up to. But really, it's still just like an internal battle of just like I want to be the best player I can be every single day. And baseball is hard too, so it's humbling. Like you could be clicking one day, go maybe like get 3 hits. The next day, you go over with 3 strikeouts. So it's just like you're really just trying to be the best you can be. And that's all you really can do. Exactly.
It's really about controlling what you can control. Mm-hmm. And I tell students all the time, players I coach, I tell them, look, your life or your sports life is really 90%, like 10% what happens to you and 90% how you deal with it. Mm-hmm. I remember my first interview I ever did was Josh Rojas, and he said when he got to Corpus, he was trying to pull the ball, and you played in Corpus. He was like, if you don't hit the ball to the side of the field that the wind's blowing, you're not pulling anything in that park. Mm-hmm. And so he said Josh Reddick was doing a rehab assignment and told him, dude, quit trying to do too much. Just hit the ball. Take advantage of hitting the ball the opposite field. That'll throw them off. That'll keep them off balance. So I've seen that. In 2023 right now, you're enjoying your lowest K rate of your career, 13.9%. I mean, that's really at a level that really a lot of these Astros teams that have been successful have enjoyed. What is it about your K rate dropping this year that you feel like maybe you've done? Is it a mental approach? Is it a physical, mechanical approach? Or is it both?
Maybe a little bit of both. I just feel like, with more at-bats and more experience, you kind of just, I feel like I've learned a little bit how certain guys try to pitch me. I used to kind of just, I was kind of just more of like an ambush fastball hitter, I feel like, for the most part. I would kind of go up there and guess. And then I feel like a little bit, I've solidified my approach a little bit more on watching the game and learning more like during the game, what they're throwing that day kind of thing. I think that kind of helps. And then just challenging myself, maybe in batting practice or things like that. Really just trying to see how deep I can get the ball. Really, that's really all I've really done. I feel like I'm not really like a big strikeout guy anyways. Being like a smaller player kind of helps because I don't have to take, a bigger path to the ball. So I think, strikeout rates earlier in my career were a little bit higher just because, it's, switching to pro ball is a hard adjustment.
Yeah.
But I don't think I really did anything crazy. I did swing a little bit lighter of a bat this year. But I kind of just realized, like, I'm not going to be, like, a big, crazy power hitter. Like, I'll hit some home runs, but for the most part, like, I'm going to put the ball in play a lot. I'm going to put pressure on the defense, try to get as many barrels as I can, and then, I'll probably run into some home runs, too.
Yeah, because you got, between Corpus and here, you got 12 already this year, and last season you hit, was it 24?
No, I think I hit 17.
Okay, 17. Okay, because I was looking at your home runs last year. I was like, wait, he's almost got his total from last year, only halfway through the season. And everything I've heard from pros, just watching interviews with Chipper Jones, one of my favorite interviews, Harold Reynolds was interviewing Chipper Jones, and he said, how did you hit so many home runs? He said, my goal was to like knock a hole in the center field wall. And like wherever I wasn't trying to go over the wall. I wanted to hit the ball through the wall. And he said the ball got up and got its launch angle. And so it sounds like you're doing that. And just to preface this for everybody, listening, it's not like you had a drastic 20% drop in your K rate. Your K rate has always been excellent, but this year I noticed it is your lowest, because I think your lowest, before that was 16, but it's been around 20, which is really decent. You see guys all the time with 37, 40, and they're like, oh, they've got to figure it out. It seems like you've got that figured out. I've noticed on several occasions you've strung together hitting streaks, 10 games, 7 games, 13 games. When that's happening and you notice like you're having success, does that just give you more and more confidence, or do you not even think about the streak? Like, do I have to walk up to you in the dugout and say, hey, Quince, you got a 15-game hitting streak? Oh, I do? Is that something that you don't even pay attention to? It just happens?
I think, so my dad keeps up with all my stats all the time, so like, if I don't know, he'll for sure tell me. But if he doesn't know, then you usually know. I try to really just keep up with like my feels, I guess, like throughout the course of the season. If I feel like I'm hitting like a lot of ground balls, maybe in batting practice I'll try to lift the ball a bit more. If I feel like I'm getting under a lot of things, maybe I'll try to kick the ball a bit lower. But for the most part, I'm just trying to like hit barrels like as close as I can, kind of like to my hands. And then I think the only thing I really changed was just like making my contact point a little bit more out in front.
Okay.
No, I don't really keep up with my stats too much. I feel like I did that a little bit last year, and it would just get me in a hole because I'd be like, oh, like I need to do this or I need to do that. Or, I was looking at my swing like every single day and like trying to overanalyze it and making changes every single day. Now it's kind of just like, I feel like my swing is my swing. It's almost just like now the only thing I can really do is just prepare myself for the game, which is like, what is he throwing me? What is he trying to do? That kind of thing, and just trying to, get a good pitch to hit.
And that's what I think is probably one of the challenges, because obviously I never played, beyond high school myself, but of course the game's changed. The analytics, major league clubs look at players like how many balls they hit out of the yard, because I think 52 to 58% of all offense is generated by the home run ball. And I know the Astros for a fact give y'all a ton of information, and they say it's like drinking through a fire hose. I remember Joe Records told us on a couple occasions, he goes, when you first come to the club, you're like, how do you know all this about me? I mean, it's almost like you've got, someone's been spying on you for the last few years. But that's why I think the Astros, even though we are not in the top 5 for farm systems, we have a lot of players that aren't on that radar because all they count are signing bonuses and things like that. They don't look at all the peripherals. So it's not really a super great grade on the farm system. And we have a lot of guys that have come up, that have come through, guys like you that are having these fast rises. The outfield is full. There are a lot of people up there trying to get playing time. You're trying to make it to the next level. Before we get to some quick hit questions, How do you go each day? Do you think about getting a Minute Maid? Do you not even worry yourself about that? What do you do daily to keep yourself focused so that, the one day that call comes, you've earned it?
I feel like it's a mix of whole things. So like, I don't really think about it too much. I don't really try to I need to get here by this day or this day. So we just trying to just improve every day. Because at the same time, it's not really your choice whether you get called up or not. So it's you can't even really you can't control it. So just you can only really control going out each day, competing, trying to help the team win, trying to better yourself. But at the same time too, I realize you have to always have in the back of your head because it is possible, it is a thing. So it's even though I'm not really focused on that, I still gotta tell myself when it does happen or if it does happen, that I am ready. I do deserve it. That kind of thing. So it's not when I do get the call that I'm surprised. I'm not mentally prepared. It's I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get better every day. And I'm trying to it's not really a thing I think about every day. But at the same time, I'll still remind myself someday that's gonna happen. And when it does happen, you are ready. You have been preparing for it and that kind of thing.
Oh, hey there. Look, I got my Bird Dogs mug. And look, that just gives me the perfect opportunity to tell you about birddogs.com. If you want shorts that are comfortable, if you are tired of the traditional khaki feel, the stiff feeling on a hot summer day, we'll look no further. Bird Dogs is the place to go. Trust me, I have some of my own, and they are amazing. They have this stretch material. They have this anti-stink material that basically keeps you not only cool, but fresh in the summertime. If you're from Texas like me or anywhere where there's heat, you know that staying cool is the name of the game. And not only do you stay cool, but you look slimmer as well. You don't sacrifice movement. You don't sacrifice style with Bird Dogs. I love wearing my Bird Dogs, and I love the cooler that I got, the Yeti style mug that I got with my order of Bird Dogs. And the way you do that is you go to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB and enter the promo code LockedOnMLB for the free Yeti style tumbler. It keeps your drinks cold. It keeps your coffee hot, whatever you want. And this tumbler comes to you now free when you get to check out all of their anti-stink, sweat-wicking fabrics today to keep you cool and dry all day long. Whether you're at the ballpark with the family, whether you're at the company picnic or the board meeting or the golf course, to close that deal, crush the competition with Bird Dogs. birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB. Enter the promo code LockedOnMLB to get your free Yeti tumbler today and stay cool and stylish with Bird Dogs today. The Astros play the Angels this Friday at 8:38 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Astros. Yeah, definitely. And so just one last thing. Tell me and tell the people watching what it's been like moving through the system. Because I know one of your coaches, Joe Thon, he's now with Corpus. I'm pretty sure it's cool for you to see your old coaches. We actually interviewed him. Phenomenal guy, and it's kind of neat. His dad was one of my favorite players, which is kind of weird. Makes me feel a little old. But what kind of environment can you tell us that the Astros have created at every level that just really helps you guys as players continue to just get better and better no matter what the circumstances are?
I feel like they communicate pretty well with what you're good at, what you need to improve on, and then how you're gonna do it. And I feel once you get that communication going on both sides, then you can kind of just work towards the same goal. So I feel at every level, that's kind of been the biggest thing for me is I know what they like, I know what I can improve on, and then we kind of just discuss between the manager, hitting coaches, that kind of thing, how we're gonna do it. And then if something's not working, then maybe we'll go back to the drawing board, that kind of thing. But I feel they just have really good communication as far as just you know what you're gonna work on, what you have to get better at. So I feel they have that going pretty well at every level. So it is kind of weird, moving fast, because I feel never really have stayed at a place like too long, I guess. But at the same time, it's still like a good thing, and they kind of just say like, yeah, like you don't have to worry about your stats too much because you're not trying to be the best minor league player you're trying to be. You're trying to be the best major league player you're trying to be. So there's a lot of times in Corpus where like I'd pull a ball pretty well and get caught at the wall. And they're like, hey, like, keep going with those swings. Those are good swings. That's the swings that's going to get you to the major leagues. Because sometimes I'm like, why would I try to pull the ball in the air here when, I'm going to really have to crush it? They're like, just keep staying with that approach, blah, blah. And because, obviously sometimes it's hard when you look at the scoreboard and you're like, dang, like, I'm batting this or, I'm batting that. But at the same time, it's just like, you can't really control that either. You're just trying to, like, hit the best swings you can and try to get as many barrels as you can, and just keep it that simple.
And that's where I think, because I know me, I push back on the expected numbers. I even, it wasn't during one of our interviews with Stanek, but a friend of ours on Apollo Houston interviewed Ryan Stanek, and he's like, I don't like all the expected numbers. He's like, I don't care what I'm expected to do. I want to see the like ERA. I want to see the the saves and stuff. But there is something to be said, especially in your development, getting to, the club, because y'all are all professionals, okay? It's just y'all are at varying levels in your career, and you're right about that. And I love that you said that, because it helps me to say, okay, not that I totally reject metrics, because a lot of our fans listen to that and they want that, but that's true, because if Quincy's pulling the ball, if the barrel's coming off his bat hot, I mean, if he's averaging 108 exit velocity, if he's trekking down, fly balls at this speed, sprint speed, all that stuff, those are the things they're looking at, because they know that if you pull a ball like that, because what they're going to be doing is taking that fastball is going to be 4 or 5 miles per hour, faster. And if you make contact with that, that's going over the fence. So they can definitely check on that. So I want to do a couple quick hit, just some fun questions here at the end. I did this with Joe, and Joe had some fun with it. I had him pick some position players that would come in and be a closer, and he told me Joe Perez and Corey Lee would love that role. He said they can throw. So I want to ask you, because you're a position player, okay? Before this, which sport, if you could say, okay, I'm going to switch my career from baseball to, which sport would you play if you weren't a baseball player?
I feel like it's pretty easy to say football, just because I'm kind of like big and strong, I guess. But I don't really like getting hit, so I wouldn't say football. I really liked basketball for a long time, but I still feel like I'm a little short for that. I don't really have the hops and the bounce for that. So I don't know. I kind of like golf.
Okay.
I think I'd be good at golf if I got a decent amount of practice, and then maybe like tennis or something.
Okay. Well, with the whole golf thing, you have to talk to Endersby, and I talked to Gray about it. I know a lot of the guys golf. Endersby talks a lot of smack, I think, on the golf course, so he might be your like resident golf pro here. Okay. You have to check that out. So since you're a position player, which pitcher out here, of all the pitchers y'all got, would make the best center fielder? Let's say Quincy, Coach Story comes up to you. All right, Quince, you get to pick one pitcher to take your place for one inning. Who you putting in center field? It can be anybody. Now,
anyone. So they have to be on Sugar Land, or anyone that I played with.
Well, okay. We go with anyone you play with, but I definitely want to know the Space Cowboy.
Space Cowboy, I'll probably choose Tamares.
Okay.
I've seen him track some balls. He got some pretty good range, pretty fast. And then whole org, I'll probably go Rhett Koba.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen him field some balls. I'm like, dang, okay, you got some range, you got some coordination. Okay.
No, yeah, Rhett is, and Rhett's also turning heads too. He's lighting it up. Kid out of I believe Dallas Baptist. Mm-hmm. It's great, and that's another thing I love about this organization. It is Wright State. I mean, schools that because kids these days are so focused on, well, I got to go D1, and we have so many players that have been D2, D3. And it's not about where you play; it's what you do where you're at, right? It's like what you do with the opportunity. So tell me, which do you prefer, Texas barbecue or Tex-Mex?
I'll probably go Tex-Mex. I'm not really a big barbecue guy.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
Okay.
So I'll probably go Tex-Mex. Obviously Tex-Mex isn't as good as like authentic Mexican food, but I'd rather eat Tex-Mex for sure.
Well, and you know, you do have to specify because you can't call Tex-Mex Mexican food.
No.
People let you know real quick.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about the Astros is they have the most international players. They just interviewed Jose Altuve and asked him, like, you know, what's it like? He's like, we get to try Cuban food and, you know, Honduran food and all these different types of food. So yeah, I'm sure maybe you've had your chance to taste some of the different cuisines from the different countries. Now, if you're walking downtown Houston, just walking to the ballpark, are you wearing Crocs or Hey Dudes?
Crocs.
Crocs?
Yeah. A lot of people probably hate on me for that, but I got like 5 pairs of Crocs.
There you go. Yeah, I think my son has 6 pair, and he randomly he'll go, hey, I need a new pair of Crocs. You just got some last week. He said he is definitely a Croc kid. All right, so I've got to ask you this because I coach basketball, and my son and I always talk about this, and I think he's more in line with me than a lot of his friends. But who is the GOAT? Is it MJ or is it LeBron?
LeBron.
Really?
LeBron's the GOAT.
Okay.
No doubt.
Okay, well, I think that might create a longer show for us to debate that. But maybe one day we could sit down and have a debate about that. But I completely respect that. Now, you're from Ohio, correct?
I didn't grow up there, but I went to high school and college there.
Okay, so high school and college.
Yeah.
So I think this is a valid question.
Sure.
Do you prefer Ohio winters or Texas summers?
Texas summers for sure. Like, you know, at least with Texas summers, you can go to the pool, go outside, all that kind of stuff. You'll be sweating, but you'll be good. But Ohio winters, sheesh, nothing like it, because you gotta shovel the driveway. You gotta go out there and start your car every day. You can't really like go where you want to go because there's so much snow on the road. There's just so much like hassle to do with Ohio winters, and then you know what I'm saying, you can't do anything. You're just stuck inside. So yeah, I definitely say Texas summers.
Awesome. Well, hey, Quincy, thank you so much for joining us here on Locked On Astros. I hope y'all enjoyed this. And I'm telling you, if you have not gotten out to Constellation Field, you've got to come out here and check out a game. Check out a game while he's here, because who knows, whenever he gets called up, you're, again, enjoying a lot of success. We wish you all the best, and we look forward to seeing you in an Astros uniform down the road. And just let everybody know at home that we're big Quincy Hamilton fans. And I hope that you get a chance to tune into Locked On Astros. You know, myself and Eric, we pride ourselves in doing this 5 days a week. We're also teachers by day, so summer's our fun time. You know, we get to relax. We get to come out and watch you guys play. So thanks, Quincy. Tell the people where they can find you. Like, you know, I don't know if you have an Instagram or you have. I know you're on Twitter, but you know, let everybody know where they can find you and follow you on social media.
Oh, my bad. So yeah, my Twitter is at Q_Hampton, and then my Instagram is QHam_10. But you know, that's where, you know, my socials are at. Just hit me up on there. Thank you for having me, Brett. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And you know, hopefully we can talk again in the future.
No, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll definitely have you back on. Joe, I just had him on recently. It was his second time. And I know you and I had talked about a year or so ago, and we finally got to meet. So, again, thank you so much. I'm Htown Wheelhouse. Find me at Htown Wheelhouse on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find the show at Locked On Astros, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us get to 8,000 subscribers. And make sure that you share this interview with a young, aspiring major leaguer, because maybe Quincy, some things he said can give him some inspiration to get to that next level. Y'all have a good one as always. Go Stros. And we're out. Let me pause it. Done. Cool. I'm going to stop this. Yeah, dude, I appreciate it, man. Excellent.